but I'm also the president of the world's oldest constitutional democracy.
Yeah, that's right, Russ. Nick was so worried, about his friends that were still on campus, and he wasn't getting a whole lot of information, besides watching TV. He came down here to the press conference. Nick, welcome, and talk about, you were sort of frustrated by the press conference. Obviously, they're still sort of slow to release some details. What do you and the rest of your classmates, what do you need to know now?
I think we really just want to know, who it is and, how it happened. Most of, the stuff we know, spreads from Twitter and stuff. But then, all my friends were told, down at, where the parents pick up thing, that we would find out who was involved. And it could be, somebody, one of our friends, and, I can speak for, most of the kids at Reynolds want to know who is the shooter and who is the kid that is now deceased.
And you've sort of been watching on social media along with everybody else on Twitter and, I guess, Snapchat and stuff. What are sort of kids sharing with each other? What have you learned on there?
Learned about, how it happened and how the evacuation process happened. People were, running, and people had to have their hands up. People were being searched, their bags taken, their cars left at the school. So it's lots of chaos, and the district's going to have to, work on that to get everyone their cars back. Because, people's cars left in the Reynolds parking lot. It's all, under investigation now.
How strange is this? You got to sleep in a little bit because your final was later, and you were even late to school. You said, luckily, this is the only time you're glad that you were actually late. What is that feeling, seeing what all your classmates are going through, seeing those photos on Twitter, and you luckily weren't there?
Yeah, it's really scary to realize that, that could have been me. It was just, all, luck that I wasn't in school, because, usually I'm just, late to school, and then my friend decided to pick me up late, and then I guess it worked out good, because my brother has a 7th grade PE, and that would have been the final that he would have been at, and that he was about to go in the locker room and put his clothes away, and that could have been him with me to school today. So, and my mom was telling me, don't be late today, and then we still was, and I guess it was a good thing actually, and then so I'm pretty sure my mom's pretty happy about that when I called her.
Well, Nick, we in the press conference they talked about doing those pat downs of all the students. We actually have a photo, I don't know if we can show that, of all the kids lined up out in the parking lot, and one of the girls getting patted down. They actually found a gun, the sheriff's office just said, that was not related to today, but still they confiscated that. What were you sort of hearing about the pat downs and things?
I was hearing the same thing about the gun, but also hearing that it was just really scary, because it was just kids knew they were innocent. Just they felt so not kind of harassed in a way, which they know it's just normal kids, but they're just patting them down. But I guess it is for safety reasons, so it is a good thing to be extra careful. I'm not against that at all, but I think it just really freaked out kids who just go to school and then they didn't know they were going to be patting down in the parking lot in front of all these people being embarrassed in a way a little bit.
For safety's sake. Nick, thank you so much. We're glad you're safe and for talking with us. So again, a lot of kids getting patted down for safety's sake. They're happy about that. But still, so many questions. All these kids gathered here for this press conference just like we did. They want to know the names and exactly what happened at Reynolds High School today. Back to you.
Then we don't know is whether he shot himself. That's what I've been hearing.
People, for those who arrived recently, there's about 3 more buses that are just arriving now. If you see your child get on the bus, raise your hand, we'll grab you, and we'll reunite you with them. And then you're going to check out with the counselor before you leave. So if you see your child, let us know. In a few minutes, when all 3 of these buses are empty, if your child texts you or calls you and tells you they're sitting here on the bus, raise your hand, just make sure you can't see him. So we'll escort you over there. But I don't want you to while they're on the bus, because the rest of the parents aren't going to be able to see their kids. Okay, thank you.
Doctors too, or? Did he just check up on him?
She'll do it again.
Still, yeah. Oh.
That's why they're in there. But we don't want people going in and confirmation. Like you have to text or call before you have to. All right, I understand that it's over 1,000.
do have a live interview ready.
Okay, here we go. Is it T-A-N-N-E-R? Is that? Are you sure? I'm getting out of here. Okay. You're the brave. All right. Junior.
I'll just press what's going on about this. The press briefing's happening
Right, yes. Well, I'm here now with Jed Tanner, who's a junior at Reynolds, and it's an interesting point that you make because your dad just said, you need to get to your phone quicker, son. How did this happen with your parents, and how were you able to finally get in touch with them, or did they text you?
Actually, my parents told me about that they heard about the shooting over the internet, and then I picked up my phone and saw that they were texting and calling about the shooting, and then I told them what I found and such.
So where were you when it happened, Jed?
I was in the auto shop. I was actually working on one of the cars and then about to do my review, and then suddenly I heard a bunch of shots. But at first I thought they were firecrackers because they were too fast in too short of a period of time.
What happened after that?
After that, I started over the intercoms, hurry up, get inside, it's locked down. So then we just shut the doors, locked it up, turned off all the lights, and ran in. So then I tried to get a hold of my parents to see what was going on through the news.
What like? Take us through that moment, Jed, where the door's locked and you're hunkered down.
It's pretty scary because you don't know if the guy's going to come in and try to take you hostage or and it was freaky because one of the kids actually saw someone running from that scene that came into our building, so that was kind of scary, seeing the reaction.
Is there any way to put into perspective what you've gone through today, Jed?
It's almost like those films that you see of like Afghanistan and stuff, like all those war things. And they're like, you just gotta hunker down and hope for the best, you know.
We've been talking a lot before we came to interview you here, Jed, about emotionally the impact on students and parents. Walk us through the moment you saw your mom and dad, who were both here, and your dog. You brought your dog too, which was nice.
Yeah, it was pretty emotional because it was just such a joy to see them because you didn't know if you were going to see them again or what's going on. So, and it was really cool to see my dog because she's always happy to see me, so that was nice.
Dog's name?
Zena.
Zena jumped right up on Jed's lap here as soon as she saw him. One more question about the emotional impact. How are you doing right now? Do you think this is sunk in? Are you okay?
I think I'm okay. I mean, I'm still kind of stressing because I'm worried about the kids still up at the school because of how long it's taking, but they're doing the best that they can, so.
Jed, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate you stopping. Back to you. Yeah.
You have your phone with you? Yes. You have the text. I just want to get shots of the text messages that you guys might have been exchanged. You know how to text?
Maybe, let's see. That's the price it gets.
Good girl. I jumped in the car when I was like rushing here and then I forgot in the car. It's like, I could probably let her out.
It's so funny when you said that was when we had the water. No, that's Jed's parents. Okay. Try to grab one. Oops.
Someone's trying to call me, sorry. And then I have some more from other people too, if you'd like. Nice.
I didn't even shower. I'm like, I'm here. Let's do this.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you.
Just come to the yellow cake.
Want to get a shot of some of those texts?
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Hey folks, I know some of you have some questions. I know it's hard to see kids getting off the bus from over here. Is your child here? Okay, come this way. All right, so we don't want people coming forward.
Do you need them up right now?
I called Terry to tell him he can't go up.
How you doing on batteries? I can fill them. You need another battery? You get second one, your battery.
You want to do a quick interview? You mind talking to us quickly? All right. Okay.
Are you back up and good?
There's probably going to be a unified thing, but that's all up at Safeway.
Oh, okay.
You captain, where are you now?
Chief deputy. I'm a legend in my own mind.
What a weird path for PIO.
Yeah. So yeah, all we're doing here is reunification.
So what's the process? Pick up your kid.
The process is don't go to the school. Number two is once you get here, we have an outer perimeter, and once you there's two ways to get into the inner perimeter. You want to see your kid, I'll escort you over to them. Number two is text you, call you.
So many parents and children walking by, and this is really, frankly, the hardest part of our job, where you don't want to cry and you don't want to, make this uncomfortable because you realize they've just gone through something very traumatic, and several parents who are walking by are declining an interview, which is certainly understandable. I just thought I'd tell you a little bit more about the process. You can see these buses rolling in now, one after another. And the shot you're looking at now from our photographer, Brian Robertson, is a long line of people that circles a section of this parking lot, and the people behind that police tape have not yet gotten the text message from their child that they're here at the Fred Meyerwood Village. What happens is once they get that text from a child, they then move forward. You can see like this person here is walking up into the interior section here, and that keeps the crowd separate so that there aren't mobs of people all moving forward trying to find their child. So it's been, as I said, very organized and very orderly and very difficult too. But several of these parents who are walking through are coming right through the media area and sort of running the gauntlet. And some are indeed stopping to talk, and others are declining, as you mentioned. You know, Russ, you were making a point a minute ago about, things that might have to change or what will be different moving forward as these events happen more and more. And I couldn't help but think at some point it's probably not going to be unusual to have metal detectors and even much more obvious and serious security measures at every school. I mean, think about what came to my mind this morning was what happens now when we board an airplane. I mean, who would have ever thought that someone would try to put bombs in their shoes to blow up a plane? And yet here we are in 2014 taking our shoes off now before we get on an airplane. So whatever happens moving forward at schools, certainly understand. We can see parents here, and again, as a parent, I can understand. You see the arm go around the child, pulled away from the media area. I'm sure just a protective, almost a reflex of many of these parents who are walking by. But we'll try to see if any more of these students are willing to stop and chat with us. If they do, we'll certainly let you know and come back to you.
Zachary, Z-A-C-H-A-R-Y, Parsons, P-A-R-S-O-N.
And Zachary, I'm going to snap your
They will, yeah. They're get them at the airport.
See your child, raise your hand. Take it to your child.
are turning to social media to talk with each other and to find out information. A lot of them are gathered here waiting for this press conference just as we are. There's a group of the police officials conversing with each other before they come over here to talk to the media. But I was just speaking with a student a few minutes ago who shared a photo with us. We want to show you that photo right now. This is taken from the perspective of a Reynolds High School student just after they were sort of evacuated from the school, and you can see all the kids sitting in lines out in the parking lot. And what those officers are doing was they patted down every single student that walked out of that school. And in this photo you see a girl being patted down by one of those officers. She was clear, but we're hearing reports maybe some other, weapons are not involved with this incident today were found and confiscated, but that is how they make sure that everyone is safe and that they account for everyone in this incident. So they patted every single student, and those kids are sharing those pictures, and even like Snapchat, for example, that sort of app, they're sending short videos to each other. They are not using really that hashtag RH shooting. We're using the hashtag Pray for Reynolds. So if you search that, there are a lot of kids on there sending well wishes to each other and just even telling me, thank God for social media, because that is how really they were kept informed of what exactly was going on. You were mentioning today and tomorrow it's finals time. The seniors were done with school last week. They are graduating this week, so a lot of the kids were coming in late to class. Their finals were scheduled later. So we talked to several of those kids who are waiting here for this press conference for the latest details about, when they showed up late to class and showed up and everything was blocked off. There were police everywhere, and just what that was like. They say that you watch this so many times on TV, on national news, and you just can't picture yourself being in that situation. But these kids say, thank goodness their finals were scheduled later, things like that they weren't in class during that. So a few more minutes, we're seeing those police officials getting their information sort of together for them to come over here and address the media. Back to you.
As a result of a lone gunman who entered the school. The lone gunman was also deceased at the scene. We're in the process of notifying the next of kin for both. We have tentatively identified the shooter, but we're not confident enough at this point to reveal the details. I can tell you that the weapon that was used is a rifle. In addition, one teacher was injured with non-life-threatening injuries. The teacher was treated at the scene. Not related to this incident, and during the evacuation process, a gun was found on one person. This is not believed to be a part of the incident. That person was taken into custody. The investigation will take some time, as you can imagine, and we have several tactical teams working through this investigation at this time. For reunification for the families, we have located a spot at Wood Village Fred Meyer for parents to respond, pick up their kids. I want to thank all the law enforcement agencies that came to assist us, as well as the non-governmental agencies such as the Trauma Intervention Program. There will be several days of healing and ongoing attention given to the students and the staff and anybody impacted by this tragedy. I also want to thank Superintendent Florence. We have 2 school resource officers at Reynolds High School. They were the first responders, and they responded immediately. They and another tactical team brought this to conclusion, and I can't thank them enough. Now I'd like to introduce the Superintendent, Linda Florence.
This is such a tragedy. My heart goes out to the individuals involved and to their parents. I too want to especially thanks to our first responders. Those are our school resource officers. And for our students and staff who did some real quick thinking and went into lockdown within seconds of hearing about the active shooter. I also want to thank our students and staff and teachers who did an excellent job, a calm job of evacuating the school today, and for implementing all of our safety procedures that we have at the school. Parents are meeting their students at our Fred Meyer Wood Village parking lot and being checked out with our school staff. Students who need mental health, someone to talk to, we have lots of counselors available. And for students who are already at home and need some additional help, I have a phone number for them to call. Multnomah County Mental Health, 503-988-4888. Later today, we'll be also notifying our parents and students of school closure. There are some things that we'll have to do, some work that has to be involved, and so later on today we will be notifying of that. So thank you.
Hello, I'm Doug Dowse, the mayor of Troutdale. This has been a very unsettling day for our precious city. I've been on the cell phone all morning long with the national news media. As you can imagine, they've shown quite a bit of interest in what's going on in this small city suburb of Portland. I've been on the phone constantly with media back east. I really want to say, though, that, and I share with them, that I'm very impressed with how the police handled this whole operation. I think going through a dry run a few months ago helped, and the school police officer helped a lot, but I am very impressed with cooperation amongst all the police departments that showed up, and there were a lot of them. I was watching on the news to see how many police departments showed up along with the sheriff's department. So my heart goes out to all the families, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll have another media briefing tentatively set for 4 p.m. this afternoon, same location. We'll let you know once we confirm that. I do have a few things. Reunifying students with parents, again, is occurring at the Wood Village Fred Meyer parking lot. The parents, if you're looking for more information about your students or have not been able to contact your student, you can contact the Reynolds School District. Their main number is 503-661-7200. But that is where we are taking students to reunify with parents, and we'll be at the location until we make sure everybody has connected. The Troutdale Police Department has set up a tip line for witnesses or anyone that has seen, that saw part of the incident or knows information about the incident. That number is 503-250-7943. Witnesses can call that line. It is staffed, so there will be somebody there. The Multnomah County Crisis Line is also available for those having mental health crises or dealing with traumatic experience. And that number, again, as Linda mentioned, 503-988-4888. Now, we also have a team set up at the Mount Hood Community College. It is now in place, and from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., crisis counselors will be at the Mount Hood Gymnasium. If people want to stop by and talk with one of the mental health counselors, they're made up of the Multnomah County Health Department, the FBI Victims Assistance Team, as well as the Reynolds School District and the Trauma Intervention Program volunteers. They also have people there as well. That runs from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. today, and then it's going to reopen and be available 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow for anyone that wants to drop in and talk with a crisis counselor. They are available. There's been a lot of misinformation about when the people can get their vehicles, their backpacks out of the lot or from the school. At this point in time, the investigation is continuing. We do not expect to be able to be releasing vehicles, backpacks until much later, probably tomorrow at this point. So please, once we know, we will announce that via the Reynolds School District as well as through the Troutdale Police Agency and Multnomah County Sheriff's Office flash alert.
Can you just clarify that there was a lone gunman? We've been hearing reports that were possibly more shooters.
I can confirm there was one shooter. One shooter. The shooter is deceased, and we're in the process of identifying that person and making notifications. So once that's done, then we can give you more details later on today. At this point, we're still confirming the identification of the individual. Once we know that, then we can give you further details. That will be later on today.
Where was this other arrest made? The other person was arrested on firearm violation.
My understanding during the course of the evacuation, unrelated to the incident, a person was located that had a firearm on them. They were taken into custody uneventfully, and it is unrelated to this incident entirely.
Where though? Because we have pictures of a guy at a clinic on 57th Drive.
Okay, I'll work on details for that later on today, and we'll confirm the arrest location. One more question here. What?
Was the shooter shot by police?
Those details will come out later today once we have more information and we're available and have it confirmed to give to you. It's a long, lengthy investigation. We're in that phase now, and right now we're also concentrating on reuniting students with their parents and making sure they have resources available if they need them. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you later today. 4 o'clock is a tentative next start for the next week, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know when we talk later on. Thank you. Thank you.
Please go to the links in the below sections so you can actually see the real information and all the information that goes along with the story that I may be telling you, so you can see the truth of everything, including the Act of 1871. So much love to y'all. Y'all have a great evening. And for my cold dead hands, abolish the Act of 1871.